Hey everybody, welcome back to The Pressing Matters. I'm Scott. Thank you for tuning in today, and thank you for your support. Today I decided to do another title in the Records to Die For series that I started a while back. Even though I'm not completely fond of that title for the series, I think you know what I mean. The Desert Island discs, the Rescue from the Burning Fire discs, the ones that you don't ever want to be without. And this record falls into that camp for me. This is Joni Mitchell Hejira. This is a record that was one of the first that I pulled when I started my resleeving project. I knew I could never live without this record, and I'm going to tell you a little bit about it today and kind of highlight it for you because it is so deserving to be in this category. It was released in 1976. It came after Cord and Spark, which was a commercial success, and The Hissing of Summer Lawns, which was a little more a less of a success, a little more difficult for some people to get into. It did still have some commercial elements, though, as well as some experimental stuff. So she was moving into the jazz area, jazz rock, some elements of jazz. And some people will say this is a jazz rock album, but I don't find it that way. She's kind of returned to a guitar-based sound. It is very simple in a way. There's usually just guitar, acoustic guitars and electric guitars and bass, and sometimes drums, sometimes no drums. The arrangements are very unusual for her, and it gives that album a special character which was never duplicated. Some of the artists on this album, well, the one that gets the most attention these days is Jaco Pastorius on bass. He gives this album a very special sound, and she said that, she had found the perfect bass player for her. And it's such a shame they hadn't been able to do much more beyond this. But they did do a tour together, and you can see that show online. I think it's Shadows and Light, and it's just beautiful. Oh, what a wonderful, wonderful group of musicians she assembled for that. It's just stunning. Pat Metheny and Jaco, just beautiful. But this record has that sound, and it's a very unique departure for her. The songwriting is very special as well. The songwriting is still the storytelling, the personal experiences and anecdotes and things that she's observed, but this takes it a step further. She said that this record could not have been written by anyone but herself. It's so personal and so tied to her that even though she said some of her earlier songs possibly could have been written by another person, not this one, not the ones on this. They are very attached to her journey, which you can see by the cover, and I love this cover. She appears in black and white. It's a gorgeous photograph, really, really stunning. They've superimposed a highway, which signifies it looks like a dark road with some clouds. It's a very moody picture, and the music is very evocative of the cover. Moody, moving, a journey. And this is a journey that she personally took. After the problems with the tour for Hissing of Summer Lawns, I guess there were some internal issues. That was abandoned. She also was participating in a few shows for the Rolling Thunder Review, Bob Dylan's special shows that he was doing. And she got wrapped up in that world, and she had some issues with drugs and personal involvements, and just needed to get away and take on the refuge of the road. So she decided to take a road trip. She drove some friends to Maine, and then took the car back to LA on her own and wrote most of the material on her road trip from Maine to LA. And this has all the hallmarks of Joni Mitchell's writing, the personal storytelling and observations about life and people's behavior, starting right with Coyote. Coyote was written about a romance she had with Sam Shepard during the Rolling Thunder review. It's somewhat humorous observation about his behavior. He's quite the womanizer, apparently, and she relates it to a coyote. It's a great opening track and could easily have been a single if it wasn't. It's the most accessible song on the record, I think. It's upbeat and has just beautiful, beautiful sound to it. The highlight on the album, well, there's a couple. There's three that I think really stand out. One is called Strange Boy, A Strange Boy. This one is about someone she was traveling with, and she had an affair with. And she found that he was just so immature for his age. And it's just an interesting character study. Beautiful song, too. I love that song. Amelia. Amelia's maybe my favorite on the album. Amelia is about Amelia Earhart, who was one of the first woman pilots who had a tragic accident while flying. And the imagery that Joni paints in this particular song, just incredible. Just incredible. The whole album has a movement about it. It's just taking you from one place to another and letting you see everything through Joni's eyes. And that's what I love about this album. Another highlight is Song for Sharon. Song for Sharon is the longest track on the album. It is written to or about a childhood friend, someone she grew up with that chose a different path than her. She went for the domestic tranquility of getting married. The wedding, the bridal dress is mentioned, the farm and the green pastures, a totally different world than Joni inhabited at this time. Joni was on the road and moving up and expanding her career. And the time for love was fleeting. So all throughout this album, there are observations about how she kind of would like this, but not really. She likes her independence. She likes moving on and encountering these different people. And as a result, long-lasting love is not in the cards, at least at this point in her life. Very, very fascinating song. And one of many people's favorites on the album. I can see it being a very appealing song to women, especially. The song Black Crow is a little more urgent and upbeat, and is just a beautiful study of her picturing herself as a black crow flying and looking down to choose a shiny object to go after. It's a beautiful, beautiful song, and Jaco is on that track. He provides a wonderful bass rhythm for that. Just great. Refuge of the Road is the closing track. I skipped a couple of things, but Refuge of the Road kind of brings everything together and saying that she finds peace and solace in the road. And that's kind of what this album is all about. It's all about discovering yourself, taking time for yourself, and reflecting back on the paths you've chosen and the people you encounter along the way of this journey. This is the Rhino edition, the first one, done by Kevin Gray. And it's absolutely beautiful. Really highly recommended. But there are some coming. There's going to be Bernie Grundman's new mastering, AAA, from the master tapes, that'll come out in the next box set in the Joni Mitchell Archives. And there's also going to be a MoFi one-step. Now, this is one of the one-steps that I'm very, very curious about, because if done right, it could be spectacular. I'm waiting to see the reviews on Blue, which was just released. So I've kind of taken a wait-and-see approach with MoFi one-steps, but I would love to see her catalog done this way and done well. So let's hope that that's the case. But Bernie Grundman's box set masterings have been great. Very, very comparable to original pressings, if not surpassing them. So good news for Joni Mitchell fans. I hope this gave you a taste of what this album's all about. And until next time, I'm Scott for the Pressing Matters. Have a great day.